Okay, the recording has been started. Please confirm if my screen is visible and if my voice is audible. Are we good to proceed? And can someone confirm quickly? Okay, Prasanna. So let us do a quick recap about the yesterday session. So yesterday we were discussing about what? So just we completed discussing about Java compilation, right? So always remember, as soon as you install the Java program, as soon as you install the Java software, okay, so you're going to see something like, okay, the installation is going to happen in C drive by default. It is by default, and there is a folder called program files followed by Java, okay, and two subfolders will be created. One is JDK and one is for JRE. So one subfolder is dedicated to JDK and second one is for JRE. And there is a, for JDK, there is a subfolder called bin subfolder. So inside this bin subfolder, you're going to find what? The lot of Java tools that is useful for Java programming development. So you're going to see Java C, you're going to see a tool like Java, going to see a tool like Java Doc, you're going to see a tool like Java P, right? And in JRE, you're going to see again, there are two folders, bin and lib folder. And under the lib folder, there is a particular jar file called rt.jar file. Right? When I say rt.jar file, you are going to see a lot of predefined classes inside this. Very simple. In JDK, you find a lot of tools for development. Okay. In JRE, you're going to find what? You're going to find a jar called rt.jar, runtime jar. You can call it as runtime jar. It is going to have a lot of predefined Java classes, .class files. Right? So why this discussion is important? So we are performing a lot of actions, right? Compilation is one among them, and execution is the another typical action that we often perform every time I use these two commands. So how the Java program, how the operating system is connecting with the Java software to make this happen. One is compilation, second one is execution, right? So in our yesterday's class, we have taken this as an example. If this is considered as my operating system, I have bifurcated into two parts. One is for C drive and second is for D drive, right? So it is not an assumption. So the Java software is installed by default in program files, and there is a Java folder, right? You are going to see JDK, and you are also going to see something like JRE. Right, today we are going to discuss deep about the JDK and JRE, right? So what I was saying yesterday we were discussing about what? Yesterday we are discussing about if the file has been stored in a specific location, right? We are going to use the command prompt. This command prompt, you are going to use some commands. Before that, okay, always remember inside the command prompt, you have to place the right directory. When I say right directory, the Java file that is stored, that absolute path location needs to be given here. Okay, you're going to specify the absolute path location here, right? So the moment you do this, then you are good to go with the compilation commands. So what you're going to say, Java C, you're going to say means you are informing the command prompt, please activate this Java C. Okay, then the command prompt will be looking for this specific command Java C. Okay, it is going to find in two locations. One is what? Operating system command list. Second one is in the environmental variables. Right? Definitely it is not going to find here because operating system does not provide Java software by default. So definitely, anyhow, the checking will happen here. Later it starts checking in the environment variables, and there are two places inside environment variables. One is for single users. If it is user variables, it is for single users, and if it's system variables, for multiple users. Okay, there it is going to recognize the path. It is going to recognize the path. So it says, okay, something, it will check each and every path that has been already specified. Now, okay, it will come across even this Java path also. So when it goes through this path, right, the moment it goes through this path, it is going to identify, there is a command called Java C. Okay, as soon as identifying this gets activated. Okay, then after the activation, you have specifically mentioned that you need to compile simple.java file. Okay, then the simple.java gets compiled and .class file will be generated. So this is what the discussion all about in the yesterday's class. And also we have discussed about what the compilation is going to take care of two things. It is going to do what? Syntactical checks and semantic checks. Right? Syntax means it is going to check each and every keyword. Okay, good. And semantic means it is going to check what? It's going to check the structure of the program. Is it following the right structure or not? Right? We have had this discussion yesterday, and also we have discussed about for every Java file. Okay, if there are 10 classes, 10 dot class files will be generated. Apart from that, we have also discussed that it is not only limited to classes. It is also the dot class files will also be generated for interfaces, abstract class, and you have inner class, you have outer class, and you have something like enums. Okay, so for each and every this what we call it as this keywords which has been listed here, dot class files will be generated. These are the keywords. These are the containers, I can say. These are just like the Java classes, but it has some different purposes that we are going to see on the go. Right? Now let's continue today's discussion. Let me close this. Okay. Now, so we have to see what? We have to see how the execution works. Right? Before understanding the execution, we know this question, right? Anyone can answer this question. When I say Java, Java is platform independent programming language. Java is, increase the font size. Okay. Java is a platform independent programming language. Okay. However, in the interview room, they would ask you, however, JDK. So we have come across JDK. JDK is an acronym for what? Java Development Kit. And you have something like JRE. And you have something like JVM. Okay. They are platform dependent. Okay. Why it is so? This is one of the popular interview question. So any interviewer can know that any Java programmer can answer this question, but answering this question needs some understanding, especially this second question. Why JDK, JRE and JVM are platform dependent? Platform dependent. Okay. Language wise, Java is platform independent. Okay, but when you take each and every entity separately, when you take JDK separately, okay, and JRE separately and JVM separately, they are platform dependent. Why they are platform dependent? You have remembered the installation, right? So when we were installing Java software, what we were doing, you are searching in the Google Chrome, right? Inside here, what you are going to do, you are searching what? You are searching for Java 1.8 download. Okay, then what you are searching this, you are getting into this particular link. After clicking on this, okay, the install is going to ask you, right? It is going to ask you to select your operating system. Okay, for each and every operating system, there is a separate installer. You know what I mean? Okay, for Linux operating system, there is a separate installer. For Mac separate installer, for Solaris separate installer. Okay, and for Windows separate installer. So the installer, when I say installer, it is called as Java Development Kit, JDK. If you see here, there is a JDK, 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 JDK. For each and every operating system, there is a specific JDK installer. Right? So by this, I can conclude that JDK. Okay, what are the points that I can make when you specifically wants to talk about JDK? JDK. Okay, the first point, JDK is an acronym for Java Development Kit. Java Development Kit. If you want to develop the Java programming language, you need JDK. So usually programmers wants JDK, developers wants to use this JDK, learners wants to install this JDK. Right? JDK is an acronym for Java Development Kit. It is platform dependent. Why it is platform dependent? For each and every operating system, there is a dedicated JDK, which we have just seen. Okay, and also programmatically, it is also called as what? Java installer. It is also called as Java installer. So JDK or Java installer, both are same. Programmatically, you can also call it as what? Java installer. So what is the purpose of JDK? What is the purpose of JDK? It is used to Very simple. JDK is what? It is used to write Java program. Okay. Can we write only Java program by using JDK? No. After writing what we are supposed to do, we have to compile the Java program, and also at last, and we need to execute the Java program. Execute the Java program. Okay. By using JDK, we can perform these three actions: compilation, writing the Java program, compile the Java program, and execute the Java program. These three actions can be performed only with what? Only with the JDK. JDK means what? Java Development Kit, right? And also, please be informed that you can also find please be informed that you can also find what? You can also find JRE and JVM inside JDK. Okay, why we have to discuss about these things? Okay, these are very important for the interview room. They would ask you what is JDK, and you should answer them in such a way that, okay, they get convinced. You answer these points, they are going to get convinced. But what are these things? Okay, how we can say that JDK is platform development kit? I mean, platform dependent. Platform dependent thing. Why JDK is called as what? Platform dependent thing. How we can conclude that? Okay, before answering that question, I want you to understand. Okay, let me also include this point. After a few days, you don't have to worry about these theories. All the theories will be completed. Then we will jump into practicals. Okay. It is called as platform dependent software. Java is the language, and this is called as software because one has to specifically download the software respect to the operating system. Specifically download the software with respect to the operating system. Respect to their operating system. Okay. For each and every OS, we have a dedicated JDK. For each and every OS, we have a dedicated JDK. Okay. Having said this, let us visualize this. Okay, if I consider this as a, let me take this page. If I consider this whole thing as the JDK, let me say Java Development Kit. If I consider this whole thing as JDK, okay, inside this JDK, again you can you can find two more things inside the JDK. You can find what? Two more things. Okay, the first thing is this space is meant for yeah, okay. If you take the whole thing as JDK, it has two more things inside. Okay, the major part, okay, the major share goes for JRE, and it is an acronym for what? Java Runtime Environment. Java Runtime Environment. You can call it as JRE, right? And these are what? These are something like developing tools. Inside this developing tools, you find tools like what? Yesterday we have been seeing, no, there are many tools in JDK inside the bin library, right? What are they? Java C is one of the tool. Guys, there is in typing. Java C, you have what? You have Java. Java is another tool. You have Java P. You have Java Doc. Okay, these are the available tools that is inside the Java Development Kit. Okay, one part is for developing tools, and second part is for Java Runtime Environment. And inside the Java runtime environment, I mean, you can find what? You can find JVM. You can find what? You can find something like JVM. JVM is an acronym for what? JVM is an acronym for Java Virtual Machine. You can say it like this: Java Virtual Machine. Okay, you call it as JVM. Okay. Also, you would also see, apart from this, you would also see something like what? Something like predefined libraries. Okay. Okay, one is what? One is rt.jar file, runtime jar file, rt.jar. You can call this as runtime.jar file. All the predefined classes will be available inside rt.jar and other files. And other files. So everything is all this content is available inside what? Available inside the Java software. The moment you download Java software, it will come as a package. Listen here. The moment you download the Java software, it is going to come as a package. Okay. You are going to have Java development kit. Okay. And inside the Java development kit, you have something like Java runtime environment. And also you have developing tools. Inside the Java runtime environment, you have something like what? Java virtual machine. As well as some files like rt.jar file and other files. Right. We are going to discuss each and every purpose. We are going to discuss each and every purpose. So this is the Java software. Okay. Java software. So if you get into a question like what is JDK? Why it is platform dependent? Why it is Java? What is JDK? Why it is platform dependent? Or they will ask you like what is JDK? Is it platform independent or platform dependent? You would say, sir, Java language is a platform independent programming language. However, when it comes to JDK, JDK is an acronym for Java Development Kit. Okay? It is always platform dependent. Then there will be a follow-up question. Why it is platform dependent? Because when you're installing Java Development Kit, the software is specific to the operating system. If you are using Windows operating system, the JDK is available specifically for Windows operating system. If you are using Mac operating system, it is available specific for Mac operating system. That is what is called as platform dependent software. It is also called as what? Java installer. Okay. Then they would ask you, what is the purpose of JDK? Sir, me as a programmer, I need to write a program. I need to compile the program. I need to execute the program. So me as a programmer, I want to use what? I want to use Java Development Kit so that I can perform the writing, I can perform the compilation, I can also perform the execution. Right? And the other question is, and also inside JDK, you can find what? Java JRE and JVM are part of JDK. So if this is JDK, if you are talking about JDK, you can also say JRE is part of JDK. JRE is also part of JDK that we are going to discuss. Okay, this is one of the popular interview question. What is JDK? Now we have understood what is JDK. You as a programmer, you as a beginner, okay, we should depend upon what? We should depend upon JDK. So I can conclude. I can conclude in a single line saying that the JDK is used by developers and learners. JDK is used by Java developers and learners. Java learners. Java developers and Java learners. Don't ignore this. This is very, very important. Okay, even if you are keeping 5 years of experience, you cannot avoid this kind of questions. Right? Making sense till now? Everyone type us in the chat box. Are we on the same page? Making sense? Yes, no? Everyone type something in the chat box. Yes, no? I think there is a network latency when you are typing already, but I am getting it a little late. Okay, now next let us understand what is JRE. Okay, now the question is what is JRE? JRE. Okay, I can say that JRE is an acronym for Java Runtime Environment. Okay, so I can say that it is an acronym for Java Runtime environment. Okay? To understand this, very simple, guys. So I have said that JDK is for Java developers and Java learners. For example, if you are working in a company, you're working in a company and you would be given a laptop or you would be given a desktop. Okay, what you're going to do with your desktop? You have to develop what? You have to develop the Java code. Yes or no? You're going to develop something like you are going to develop a Java code, right? Or you're going to develop an application. To develop the application, you as a developer, you need JDK. Definitely you need JDK. You as a developer, you need JDK. I can say that if you are working for a company, your company will install the JDK in your system so that you can do what? You can perform 3 actions. Okay, writing the code. Second one is compilation and execution. Development, compilation, execution. Right? Development, and second one is compilation. The third one is what? Execution. You can do these three actions. Right? So this is what usually the company does. Right? After doing all these things, after the development, okay, you do what? You do compilation and you do execution. Right? If the application is working successfully, you want to share the application to what? You want to share this application to the client. Okay, but you don't share the source code always. You don't share the source code because source code is always secured. Okay, you keep that information, you keep the coding information very secured. You don't share your development work. Instead, you would share what? You would share the .class file. Okay, you will generate a .class file. You generate what? You generate a .class file. Okay, and you share this .class file, or this is also called as what? The executable file, or this is also called as what? Bytecode. Right? Let us say that you are using something like you are using Windows operating system. Okay, and your client is there. Your client is somewhere in USA. Okay, this is your client. Okay, and he wants to test the application. He wants to do what? He wants to test the application. Okay, what you are saying? You are not going to ask him to install the JDK. Okay, you would tell him. Okay, the client would install what? He would just install JRE. Because you're not going to share the source code. So source code is something, the code that is being written by you. So this is a source code, Java code, pure Java code. Pure Java code is called as what? Source code. You don't share the source code. Instead, you would share the .class file. Okay, to run the .class file, if he is using the Mac operating system, whatever the operating system is, your client is going to do what? Your client is going to download the JRE from the network, from the internet. Okay, and you will keep this JRE installed. And even this JRE is part of a Mac operating system. JRE is part of Mac operating system. Means JRE is specific to operating system as well. JRE is specific to operating system. Okay, each and every operating system has its own JRE. So I can also say that JRE is platform dependent. JRE is platform dependent. And this language is platform independent. This Java language and the .class files, they are platform independent. But when it comes to JDK and JRE, they are specific to the operating system. That's why they are called as platform dependent. Okay, he has downloaded this JRE. Right? What you're going to do? You're going to share this. You're going to do what? You're going to share this .class file through the network, through the internet connection. Right? So to the internet connection, this .class file will be shared to your client. Okay? In the client machine, you would receive this .class file. Right? This .class file will be received by your client machine, and it is going to use the JRE to do what? To perform the execution. Okay, to perform the execution, JVM is mandatory, To perform the execution, JVM is mandatory. Okay. If you take only this JRE, Okay, client is going to have only these things. It is going to have only this JRE. Not even developing tools. Okay, he is not going to have even this developing tools. This is part of JDK. Okay, he is going to have only the JRE. You see the JRE, inside JRE, there is a JVM, right? There is a JVM, Java Virtual Machine. That is something like RTJAR file, predefined files. Okay, these two will take care of what? These two will take care of execution. Because do you think that client is going to develop an application? The client is going to correct anything if there is some issues? You as a company, you are going to test the application. You are going to perform a lot of things. It's going to ensure that this application is very robust. Okay, once it is successfully getting executed, because you also have an option to execute this. Okay, after testing this file, you will just share the .class files to the client over the network, and your client is going to have only JRE, Java Runtime Environment. Okay, which is going to have JVM. So this JVM is enough to execute this .class file, right? So what this JVM is going to do? This JVM is going to take this .class file. JR is going to, JR is going to push this .class file to JVM, and this JVM is going to execute this .class file. Okay, I can conclude that JRE is meant for client and JVM is meant for company. Making sense? Okay. Why this separation is happening? JRE is for client or the customer, and JDK is for the developers. JRE is for what? JRE is for the company. Right? So Java JRE is an acronym for Java Runtime Environment. First conclusion. Okay, what is the second conclusion? I can say that JRE is also platform dependent, and it is mostly used by the clients. Okay. Please be informed that JRE is platform dependent software, and it is used by client systems. Clients are customer systems. Clients are customer systems. Right? Valid point. Clients don't install. They don't install JDK. If you get questions like this, you can answer this. And also, JRE has JVM and other files, other predefined libraries. Fine. Yes. So if the interviewer is asking question, what is JRE? You can say that it is an acronym for Java Runtime Environment, right? It is platform dependent. Why it is platform dependent? Because it is specific to operating system. Okay. And JRE is often used by client machines. Client machines are customer system. Because customers, they don't develop the application, they just execute the application. For the execution, JRE is enough. If you talk about development, then JDK comes into picture. If you talk about only the execution, JRE is fine. Inside JRE, you can also add points like inside JRE, there is JVM and predefined libraries. Making sense? This is also, that's why it is called as what? Platform dependent software. JRE is also called as what? The platform dependent software. Okay, you can say that inside JRE, you can find Java virtual machine. Java virtual machine plus these two things are talking about what? Predefined libraries. Predefined libraries. Let me write it in. Predefined libraries. Okay, now the last thing. What is the last thing? Last thing we have what? We have to talk about JVM. So we have discussed about JDK, we have discussed about JRE, and now we have to discuss about JVM. So after completing discussing about JVM, we will understand the execution part, which needs to be completed today. JVM. Okay. What is an JVM? JVM, I can say that JVM is an acronym for Java Virtual Machine. First point. Okay. JVM. One minute. JVM is an acronym for Java Virtual Machine. First point. Okay. It is used to, very simple, it is used to execute .class files. It is used to execute .class files. I can also call it as it is present inside. I can say that it is present inside Java runtime environment. It is present inside JRE. Okay. So it is used by clients as well as company. fourth point. Okay, the last point is platform dependent software. Platform dependent is platform dependent software. Okay, so let us go to JVM. Okay, this is where the JVM is. So this is where the JVM is. Let me take this. Okay, JVM. Okay, and inside JVM, okay, there are some parts. Okay, you can see some parts inside the JVM. JVM means what? Java Virtual Machine. You can see something like class loaders. You don't have to worry about this. You do not have to describe this to the interviewer. You can also see something like garbage collectors, right? And also you will see something like what? JIT compiler. JIT compiler. We have discussed about JIT compiler in the Java futures. JIT compiler. These things will be there inside our JVM. Okay. So this is platform dependent software. Okay. Now let us understand the execution flow. Yesterday we have discussed till compilation. Today we have to understand about the execution. So to understand about the execution, let me clear this space. Let me take this space. Now focus here, guys. From your file. Okay. I hope you have remembered this, right? Yesterday's control flow, right? So this is the yesterday's control flow. Let me reduce the size. Control flow. Okay. Yesterday we have discussed about the till compilation. Okay. The moment you do compilation, the command prompt will try to identify for this command in two places. One is the inside the operating system. Second one is in the environment variables. Now today's job is we need to perform the execution. To perform the execution, let me write a small Java program. Class simple. Name of the class is simple. I'm taking the file as public static void main string array box. It's a simple Java class. Let me take this class as public class. Okay, so I have a class container. Inside this class container, I also want to make a simple statement system.out.println. Okay, the statement is what? Something like hello. I want to print hello in the console. Okay, so we are clear about the compilation part. Today we will understand about the execution part. Okay, how the software is going to communicate with the hardware system or the operating system to perform what? To perform the execution. That part we will understand it today. Right? So for the compilation, the command is very simple. Okay, how do I save this Java program? File, save as. If you know the class is simple class, right? So it has to be saved with what? Simple.java, isn't it? Simple.java. Because you cannot use any other name since the class is declared with public access modifier. Public means always ensure that the file name should be same as the class name. So saving has been done. It has been saved successfully. For the compilation, we already know the command. Okay, for the compilation, we already know the command. Before that, we need to instruct the command prompt to point to the right directory. We need to ensure that the command prompt is pointing to the right directory. So this file has been stored inside the D drive, and there is a subfolder called Java2 folder. So I want to change this command prompt with. I want to ensure that this command prompt is pointing to the right directory. Let me change the directory to cd space Java. Okay, now it is pointing to the right directory. The moment I give Java C command followed by the file name simple.java. Okay, this command prompt is going to look for this command. It is going to keep searching for this command in two areas. One is in the operating system. Second one is in the environment variables. Somehow it will manage to find in the environment variables. Then it will activate the compiler. It is going to activate what? Java C is going to be found in the environment variable. There is an absolute path. There it is going to find this command. A compiler will be activated. Okay. After activating the compiler, it will say, hey compiler, please compile the simple.java file. Okay, let me do that. Okay, the command prompt will do it. The moment it does the compilation, okay, there will be a .class file generated. You open this .class file, you cannot even understand this .class file. Okay, it is not understandable by the programmer, also by the machine. It's an intermediate code. This is how this .class file looks like. Okay, now you need to execute this. Please remember, you need to do what? You need to perform the execution. Okay, compilation is successful. To execute this, the typical command is Java space the .class file name. just dot class file name. Go and see, go to the folder and see. Okay, this is the dot class file. What is the name of this? Simple. You should just give the name of the dot class file without dot class extension. Just give the name of the dot class file. Okay, what is the name of the dot class file? Simple itself is name of the dot class file. At the moment this command is given, the moment to give this command, what are the things that are going to happen behind the scenes? Okay, this is second command. The moment this command is given, right? Java space simple. Okay, so this Java is a command. This Java is a command. Now the command prompt will come into the picture. Okay, the command prompt will try to find this command in the operating system. First of all, we'll look into the operating system. It will not find. Then it will look into what? Environment variables. Environment variables. Okay, that environment variables has already defined the path for the Java software for the JDK. It will directly jump and find this Java command. Right? So as soon as it finds this Java command, it is going to do what? It's going to activate this Java command. Okay, this Java command is for what? Execution. Okay, if you want to imagine this further, this is how it is going to be like. Okay, you have a program. Okay, the name of the file is what? Simple.java. Okay. Simple.java. Right? So this is the source code. It has been saved as simple.java. Right? You need to activate the compiler. For the compilation, you have used a command called java c space compiler. Okay, for the compilation, you have used a command called what? Java c space simple.java. Okay, the moment you do this, compiler will take this source code. This source code will be taken by compiler. It will check each and every piece of line. Okay, and it is going to generate what? If there are no errors, it is going to generate something like a dot class file. It is going to convert the .java file to what? Dot class file. Simple.class file. Okay, after this, okay, JVM is ready. JVM is already there. JVM is already there. JVM is ready. But you want to activate the JVM. To activate the JVM, you are using command called java space simple. Java space simple. Okay, the command prompt will recognize the Java command, and you want to execute which file. You want to execute which dot class file. Simple is representing the dot class file. Okay? The moment you mention simple here, it is like you are giving the instruction saying that please execute this dot class file. So this simple dot class file will go inside the JVM. Okay. After that, a main thread will be created. JVM is going to create the main thread. Okay. The first thing that JVM is going to do is what? It is going to keep looking for the main method. This is main thread. First thing, JVM is going to do what? First thing, JVM will check for the main method. Will check for the main method. Right? So before even happening this, JVM will check for the main method. Before even checking for this main method, okay, you are passing the dot class file, right? You are saying something like simple, right? You're simply passing this dot class file name. Okay, but there are three areas where the command prompt is going to check for this dot class file name. So there are three prominent areas. There are three major areas. Okay, now focus here. The simple file, the simple dot class file will be checked in three areas. Okay, first location is the current location. Current location. What is the current location? D drive followed by what? Java 2 followed by the class name simple dot class. Simple first current location. Okay, and the second thing is it will try to find in the predefined libraries. It will try to find in the predefined libraries. So where the predefined libraries are, if you open the Java installer, right, it is in the C drive. Inside the C drive you can find the program files. Inside the program files you can find Java. Inside Java there is JRE. Inside JRE there is a lib. Inside lib there is something like rt.jar. rt jar file. It will look whether the .class file is available here or not. Second location. Anyhow, it is going to get this is going to be identified in the first location itself, but these are the three areas that is going to look. Which one? The command prompt is going to check for the look for the dot files first in this location. If it is not there, it will check here. Even if it is not there, it is going to check in the environment variables, the path that you are giving in the environment variables. Sometimes there will be third-party classes. Those classes you are going to give in the environment variables. Future topic, right? So the three areas will be scrutinized by what? By command prompt. Okay? You are saying simple. You want to execute this simple class file. Where is the simple class file? Okay, the JVM will check in this first. It will check here. Anyhow, this is going to get identified here itself. If not, it is going to check here. If not, it is going to check here. Okay, let us say that I am deliberately deleting this .class file. Let us say that. Okay, let me go to the D drive location. Let me go to that folder. I have a .class file now. Let us say that I am deleting this. I wantedly delete after compilation. I wantedly deleting this. Let us have an assumption. Okay, and after deleting, I'm compiling. I'm executing this. It says cannot find or load main class. What has just happened? It is trying to identify simple class file in all the three locations that I have just specified. It has tried to find in this first location. It is not there because I have just deleted. Okay. Now it will not be found here. It will also not be identified here. Okay. If it is not able to find, you will get what? You will get this error. This happens in the runtime. In the real-time applications, you're going to see this kind of errors very often because you're not if you're not loading the .class file properly, you may come across these errors very often. Okay, what can I say? Please be informed that if the .class file is not found in these three areas, okay, you will get following. What is it following error? Simply this error will be displayed by the command prompt. Could not find the .class or load file. Okay, let me recompile this and let me save this. Let me do the recompilation. Okay, after the recompilation, you can see .class file now. Now .class file has been created. Let me execute this. Let me do what execution. For the execution, Java space simple. Right. One more thing. Now this point is also very important. Right. I am again performing the execution. Okay. So while performing the execution, usually these three things will be taken care. First, second, third. It will try to look for simple file in these three locations. Next thing is, okay, at the time of execution, the JVM will try to create a main thread. A main thread will be created. Okay. This main thread, the job of the main thread is to first job is to, there are two jobs for this main thread. Focus here. First job is to find the main method. Find the main method. Okay. Second job is, if the main method is found, then what? Then what? Only if the main method is found, execute all the instructions in the main method. Execute all the instructions inside the main method. You know the problem, there is a problem. What happens sometimes, let us say that, okay, in this class, let me execute this. If you execute this, simply you will get allow. Okay. Now I wantedly taking three different classes. You focus here, I am taking class A, okay, class B, okay, class C. So these are the interview questions. Focus here. These are the interview questions. Let me delete this public also. Okay. let me delete all the existing files. Okay, I do not, okay, let me take a copy of this. Let me delete all the existing files. Right. Now you tell me, I have developed a Java program. I want to save this file. What name I can use? Can I use, a.java? Is it okay to use a.java? Come on, unmute and answer. Can I save it as a.java?
Yes, we can.
We can save it as Java. Can I save it as b.java? Can we?
Yes.
Okay, simple.java is also possible because no class is public class here. It's my option. I can save it in any name, right? Now focus here. I'm saving it as what? I'm saving it as a.java. Always remember you are saving it as a.java. Okay, source code has been saved as a.java. If I want to perform the compilation, what command I need to use here? Tell me the command here. Anyone? For the compilation, file has been saved as a.java. For the compilation, what I'm supposed to use here? Java C space a.java, right? Yes or no? Come on, everyone. Everyone are answering. Can you unmute and talk, guys? We are only 10 members, not even 10 members. I need to save Java C space a.java, right? Okay, compilation. So I'm compiling this. Okay, compile. There are no errors in the compilation. Now, if you observe here, if I give Java space a. Now focus here. I'm trying to give what? I'm trying to give an execution command. Okay, command name is Java for the execution, and I want to execute the a.class file. I want to execute the a.class file. Before even clicking on enter, focus here once again. Focus here. Let me take this space. So this is my code, guys. Very, very important for the interview. If you are able to answer this, okay, then understanding Java is going to be very easy. This has been saved as what? A.java. Okay, there is a compiler. There is a compiler. It's the compiler, right? And what are you going to do after saving it? After compilation, so this a.java will be converted to what? Will be converted to a.class file. Do you think that is what going to happen? How many .class files will be generated? At least tell me that. Okay, this a.java, three classes, right? So 3 .class file will be generated. So if you see, this compiler will produce 3 .class files. Okay, because in a.java file, in a.java file, there are 3 classes. So one is class A, second is class B, and third one is class simple. For each and every class, there has to be a .class file. So the compiler will do its job. Okay, there are 3 classes. Let me generate 3 .class file. A.class, B.class, and there is also what? Simple.class. Simple.class. Okay, so compilation is successful. After that, JVM will come into the picture. Now focus here. Very, very important. This JVM. Okay, so JVM is for execution. So this is for compilation to check for errors, right? Compilation, and this is for execution. Execution will be done by what? JVM. Okay. For the compilation, you have given the command like Java C space file name.java a.java. Okay. If you are giving the same typical command for execution, if you say Java space a, right? A means what? A.class file will be loaded. If you say B.class file will be loaded. If you say simple.class file will be loaded. But I want to say A, I want to load A. The moment you do this, it will check, okay, is there any class with the name A? Is there any .class file with the name A? Yes, there is a .class file with the name A. Okay, this will be loaded. No, nothing wrong. This will be loaded. After loading this class, this JVM will create a main thread. Okay, what is the job of the main thread? I have just mentioned now. What is the job of the main thread? What is the job of the main thread? The main thread will be created. First, there are 2 jobs given for the main thread. What are they actually? First job is to find the main method. Okay, is there any main method in the A class? Do you have any main method in the A class? Yes, no? There is no method, right? Okay, if you're executing this, it will give, hey boss, you are saying me to execute a.class file, but I am not able to find the main method in the a.class file. You will get this error. If you are getting this error, there is no option to execute. Okay? By this, can I conclude that always, okay, if you are taking this as a program, if you have 3 dot class files generated, always remember, okay, let me you have 3 dot class file, always ensure which is the main dot class file, and I'm saying which is the main dot class file, it is nothing but any file which has the main method, any dot class file that has the main method is called as what? Main dot class file. So this is the main dot class file, this is the main class source file, right? This is a main class source file, okay, and the 3 dot class file will be generated, and simple class is going to have the main method, so that becomes main dot class file. Always, you should always execute the dot class file that has the main method. If not, you will get error. Making sense? Okay, now I should give Java space simple. If I give Java space simple, okay, the simple dot class file will get inside the JVM. Okay, main thread will be created. What is the job of the main thread? The first job is to find the main method. It will check whether the programmer has included the main method or not inside this class. Whether the programmer, it will check, okay, yes, there is a main method here. Okay, I can execute perfectly. Then main thread will create it. Then main thread will get access to the main method. As soon as it sees, what is the second job? It has to get access to the main method. Main method is the entry point. Okay, main method is entry point. Without main method, Java will not run. Since it is an entry point, the first job is the main thread will try to find for main method. If it is there, okay, it will transfer the control to the main method and it will perform the execution. What is the first line? System.out.println. Hello will be displayed in the console. Hello. Right? Let us go back. Okay. Now if I am doing, now you tell me. I want to do this. I want to do what? I want to do something like Java space B. What do I get here? Everyone? Try to do this Java specific, try to give the specific command, anyhow b dot class will be loaded. Is it correct or wrong? Is it valid or invalid according to Java?
Invalid.
Invalid. Good Prasanna. Why it is invalid? Because inside B class there is no main method. You cannot load the B class. You cannot load the class which has no main method. In this cases, you cannot load these two classes. Completely wrong. Completely wrong. Why completely wrong? They don't have main methods. Then what is right? Simple dot class file is right. This has to be loaded. Why this has to be loaded? Because it has the main method. Okay. What is the benefit of having the main method? Because it is the entry point. There will be a main thread created. The job of the main thread is to do what? You will always try to identify whether the main method is there or not. The main method is there. Okay, the control will be transferred to the main method and all the instructions will be executed. If the main method is not there, you will get this thing in the console. Please define the main method, something like this. Making sense? This is all about execution. Compilation done. This is all about execution. Okay, there are many combinations. That you can try. What are the combinations? Now you tell me. I will give you one combination. Tell me if it's valid or invalid. I have a class A. Okay, I have public class B. I have two classes. I have class A and I have public class B. I am saving this as b.java. Right? After saving this as b.java, I want to do what? I want to perform the compilation. First thing is saving. Second one is Java C space b.java. Then the third thing is Java space. Is it valid or invalid?
Valid.
Okay. Let us come one by one. This is valid. b.java. Why b.java? Because file name has to be same as public class name. Correct? Yes or no? Okay. Compilation is also valid. Why it is valid? Because we are compiling the exact dot class file. Exact file. I mean, after compile. I mean, the exact source code. Right? But this becomes invalid. Why this becomes invalid? Because there is no main method. Can you define any main method here? Able to understand, Prasanna?
Yes.
There is no main method here. If there is main method, if you declare main method, then it becomes valid. This is one of the possible combination. Okay, let me give you other combination. Now, Now tell me, there are two classes. Okay, let me remove this public also. Okay, let me keep the public here. Now you tell me public static void main. Let's assume that this is the main method. Okay, PSVM is shortcut for main method. Okay, now I am saving this as b dot java. Okay, then java c space uh, b dot java, then java space. Okay. Is it valid or invalid? First tell me the first one. This one is valid.
Invalid.
Okay, what about this one? B dot java valid, right? This one is valid now. B dot java.
Yeah.
This one is also valid, right? Java C space B dot java. Compilation is also valid because public class you're using. And you want to execute some other class, Java A. Let us see this. Okay, let us see. Let us understand this through programmatically. I have what? I have class A. What is the name of the other class? Class A and class B. Okay, this is class B. Right? If you get locked out of the meeting room, please rejoin. Class A, class B. B is public class. Focus here. I am placing the main method inside A. Same code, no? Main method is there inside A, and public class is B class, right? So how I am supposed to save this? Let me delete, clear all the existing files inside the directory. Right? Now look at this combination, very interesting combination. Okay. What did I just save? If you go back and see b.java. Okay. Saving b.java is valid because the public class name is same as the file name. Save as b.java. Okay, and I need to perform the compilation. Java C space b dot. Okay. Compilation, no issues. The question is, can I? Okay, now you see. Now let me show the answer also here. It's valid only. Why it is valid, I will tell you. Okay. Let me take the same program. Please rejoin. Please rejoin. Okay. Let me remove this. This is our simple code. Okay. Now you see, this is our code. So I have been. This has been saved as what? B.java. Okay, because for the compiler will expect. Okay. This is for the compilation. For the compilation, this is valid. This syntax, this saving convention is valid for the compilation. So b.java will go inside the compiler. So this is the compiler. Let me take it as COMP. Okay. Compiler. And it will come as what? After the compilation, it is going to generate two dot class files. One is a dot class file and second one is b dot class file. Right? And JVM. You know, remember, always remember, for JVM, this you don't need to follow this convention. JVM will expect only two things. Okay, the dot class file that you are sending, let us say if you are sending java space a, okay, you are trying to send a dot class file. You're trying to send what? A dot class file. It will check only two things. It will not check whether it is public or private. It will not check whether it is public or default. It will check only two things. What are the two things? First, it will check whether this a dot class file has the main method or not. Main method is there, then it is valid. You will understand. Only compiler. For compiler, the rules are what? For the compiler, you need to follow the public rules. The class is public, saving should be saved as public. Only this rules is applicable for compiler, not for the execution. Thank you for rejoining. What I was saying, the rules are applicable only for the compiler. Please quickly confirm if my screen is visible. Everyone? Able to allow. Can someone confirm quickly? Okay. See. Let us see another example. Okay. Now, if I take, okay, now you tell me. Now I am taking, let me take class A. Let me take class B. Let me take class C. Okay, inside this class C, I am going to keep the main method. Now remember, inside the class C, I am going to keep the main method. Okay. Now I am trying to, can I save this as balaji.java? Anyone tell? Can I save this Java file as balaji.java? I'm not using any
Yes.
class. I can save, right? Because compilation
Yes.
rules, according to the compiler, you can save with any name if there is no public class. That rule is getting satisfied. Yes or no? Okay, let me save that. If file, for that I want to delete the existing. Delete. Okay. File save as balaji.java. If there is no public class, I have my own rights. Okay, compiler will say you can save it as ever you wish. Don't have any issues because all the classes are default classes. Okay, let me give this to the compiler. Java C space balaji.java. This is the file name, right? So compiler is happy and it is going to successfully generate the .class file. Yes or no? Now if you see balaji.class file, there are three .class files, including what? A, B, C. Okay, the .class files are going to be according to the class names, but file has been saved with balaji.java extension. Okay, .class files will be generated according to the class name. So three .class files are generated, A, B, C. Okay, now is it okay if I try to do, okay, if I try to do the execution by giving a command like java space B? Is it okay?
No.
It is not okay.
It's
Why?
invalid.
Because it is invalid. Because main method is there in.
There is no main method.
Correct. Is it okay if I give Balaji space Java space Balaji? Balaji is not even a class. What is the only option that I can give here? Java space.
Java C.
Correct. Java C. Because inside the C class, main method is there. This is the valid command. Right? Java space what? C. The moment I give C dot class file will be loaded and output is going to get executed. Okay, so what I'm trying to say is for compilation rule is applying. What is the rule? Compiler will take care of public access modifier. It will check whether the access modifier is a public. That rule is applied for compilation. For the execution, the only rule is what? Whatever the class that you send, please ensure that that class has the main method. I do not want to take any rules and regulations. This is the one rule I want. Only rule that I want to make. Able to follow? Now you tell me. If I take this as public and if I take this as public, okay, is it valid or invalid?
Invalid. There is only one. We have to only one public class.
One public class. This is also invalid. Okay. Now, if I take this as public. So if I take this, no need to get any confused. When you see one public class, always ensure that file name should be b.java. Okay. For compilation, for execution, find the main method. Okay. And use that file name. Right. Now you tell me, I do not have any main method. I have three classes. I do not have any method. Is valid or invalid? What should be the answer? I am the interviewer. I am asking you. Is code valid or invalid? What should be your
invalid
answer? Good answer. But you should be answering like till compilation level it is valid.
Okay.
For the execution it is invalid. Till compilation it is completely valid for the compilation, but for the execution it is invalid. Again the interviewer will ask you, okay, I want to save this as c dot balaji.java file. Now you should say it is completely invalid for compilation as well as for execution. Yes or no? Am I correct? Because for compilation this cannot be the command. Can't be the command for compilation. Right? If compilation is not happening, execution will never happen, right? Able to follow? Yes, no? Making sense? So this is all about what? Java compilation and Java execution. To understand these two, what we call it as commands, Java command and Java C command, we have to go through all these things. Okay, if you are getting a question like this, always remember JDK JRE JVM, they are platform dependent. Okay, if they ask you why they are platform dependent, because it is specific to operating system. Very simple answers. Okay, again you can also say when they are asking about JVM, or when they are asking about JVM, you can say that JVM is part of JRE. JRE is part of JDK. Okay, you can write it in your own words if you understand this diagram. So by this, I can conclude that the first Java program is over. Tomorrow we will write lot of Java programs by using what? By using main method. We will try to write 5 examples by using main method. Then we will discuss into the interesting topics going forward. Okay, that's all for the